Hello and welcome to tonight's edition of the Evening Review. My name is Toibon Jabela, your host for tonight. Let's quickly look at today's front page of Namibian Sun.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, welcome to another exciting edition.
Welcome back. With the country gripped by the coronavirus situation, today we went to the streets and spoke to bus drivers basically to share with us how this pandemic has affected their business. This is what one of them had to say.
So today I'm here speaking to Petrus. He's one of the drivers of the buses that transports people. So Petrus, can you maybe tell us how the lockdown has influenced your business?
So the lockdown influenced our business. Like now, normally we used to take 14 passengers.
Yeah.
And from when it's come to lockdown now, we only get 9. Some officers tell us to pick 10, and some are saying we take only 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So the business is really down.
Yeah.
We only the trip what we get for the day, they are also down.
Yeah.
We only get like normally we get like 4 trip or 5 trip or 6 in the morning, and again 5 in the evening, afternoon. So now we only get maybe for the whole day only 8 trip, but they are not even full.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are really affected.
Yeah.
So now we only wait for these days what we are given. Maybe the things will be better, so we continue with the normal business.
Yeah.
Tonight we are joined in the studio by Major General Charles Namoloh, who is a former Plan Chief of Staff during Namibia's liberation struggle, to talk to us about particularly the events of 1 April, or what the 1st of April means in the liberation struggle of Swapo. General, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Why is it? Why is the 1st of April so important in the context of the Swapo liberation struggle?
Well, first and foremost, 1st April has got 2 very important events which happened on that very date called the 1st April.
Yeah.
It's a Fool's Day, but these important events which happened were not fools.
Yes.
First is 1983, when we lost our Secretary for Defense, Comrade Peter Enias Nanyemba, who died in a car accident in Lubango on that very fateful day. Peter Nanyemba is the architect of building a plan to a level where it was a force to be reckoned with. He has created structures, proper structures, for us to be able to face the South African Defence Force.
Yeah.
As it's well known that the South African Defence Force was the most powerful defence force on the continent of Africa.
Yeah.
And you look at us, we were very small, very young, unexperienced, because the South Africans had also those who fought in the Second World War.
Yes.
We never fought any other war, but this was our first war.
Yes.
In the plan. So Nanyemba, we always cherish what he did for building a plan in Angola.
Yeah.
He was a visionary man. He was not trained like most of us, but he had that capacity to show as if he was more trained than most of us. He was so talented that Nanyemba is a foresighted man. He was given a vision to see where we wanted to go and what we wanted to achieve. That is Peter Nanyemba. And we always would want to remember him. That's 37 years ago now that he died. So we would want to honor him, especially me. We are the products of Nanyemba.
Yes.
When we became the structures we created, and when we were appointed as you said, I was a former plant chief of staff. We were appointed in the military council. He made it that we as young people were also brought into the military council, because the military council only consisted of the comrades who were there before us, the Mbulungangas, the Horonjabas, and many other comrades, the Dimo, Amambo, and of course Peter Nanyemba himself. So he thought that it was better to reinforce with the young blood.
Yes.
So we were young blood. We were taken in 1977.
Yeah.
It was me, it was Charlie, it was Philip Ainana who was late, it was Andrew Intaba who was also late.
Yes.
It is Kamba Kashirongo is still alive. So these are some of the comrades who were brought in the military council as young people. But with the vision of Nanyemba wanting to see how to rejuvenate the People's Liberation Army of Namibia. So secondly, it's not only Nanyemba, there are two things, as I said. Secondly is the 1st April 1989.
Yes.
When most of our forces, the last battles which were fought with the South African Defence Force was 1st April 1989. Of course, most of this you know.
Yes.
There are some now mass graves, like the one at on the Shifirwa. That's the most well-known one.
Yeah.
There is one also which was just found recently, last year, towards the end of last year, in Kunene.
Yeah.
In Kunene. So the Minister of Veteran Affairs was busy to look at. They went there to look at the incidents and so forth. Of course, 1st April, as I'm talking as a former plant chief of staff, it can't just pass and without being mentioned.
Yes.
I know, and I'm very well, I know very well, very confidently, that these are the people I ordered to go, ordered them to go and be in the positions where they were. So I can't just leave it.
Yes.
These are most of these comrades who sacrificed on that fateful day, 1989. They were the survivors of most of the battles we have fought.
Yes.
The best of the best of our fighters and commanders who survived most of the battles. sacrificed during this year. I mean, this day in 1981, 31 years ago.
31 years
so
ago.
you can't. You had your comrades, you shook hands, okay, we'll meet, because they were saying, okay, there will be a ceasefire, and of course we'll meet, establish bases there, and so forth. So it came to be the contrary. And as a result, we had to lose quite a number of people. I think the 1st April, as it is now, we look at it for us. You look at the 26 August 1966. That was the first where the first bullet was fired, 1966. Yeah. But 1st April also was the last day where the last bullet was also fired. What is the relation between 1st April 89 and the 26 August 1966? Yeah. It seems that in our history, 1st April is like a missing page. Yes. So for us, we who were there, and also to see the comrades who calls you in the week before and so forth, who are the survivors of the 1st April. There are commanders and combatants who are survivors of these battles, still there. And just to ask, what are we doing? Why is nothing being done? Why is nobody mentioning about it? You were the chief of staff. What are you doing? And so forth. So for me, well, people will say, oh, why is he mentioning it now only? Why didn't he? Yeah, people want to be told in corners and so forth. But I think it's high time that we, who are the former plan combatants, tell our stories publicly, and not in corners or under roofs and what have you. I agree. Because people don't know. When you speak about it, people don't take it up, and then when you talk about it, then you are, why didn't he tell us and so forth. Why should we always tell if everybody knows what was 1st April? Definitely. So it's not of me to say it, because history, of course, especially plan history, is also partially being told. Yes. The plan history is not recorded somewhere. Okay, there's some people are saying, okay, you must write books. Yeah, we are writing, but at the least it must be told publicly also, on national days, on heroes' days, as if this plan was just like a 1 week operation and so forth. It is why Swapo got so much legitimacy. Why was Swapo so famous? Is because it had an armed wing fighting a very strong defense force on the continent. Strong defense force. Yes, defense force. Yes. So that's why Swapo was so famous in the whole world. I know. Yes, that's why. So let me ask you, General, Major General. So the 1st of April 1989, there are so many versions as to what exactly transpired. You, as a military man, what is your recollection of what happened that led to that carnage? No, I was the chief of staff, not only the military man. Yes. I was the person responsible. Yes. I know exactly what happened. Yeah. Of course, the notion there was that most of the forces, there were forces somewhere on the borders there. Yeah. So these forces have to be reinforced in order for them, because in the United Nations resolution, implementation of resolution 435, there was a say of that the forces will be confined to base, both South Africans and the plan. Swapo forces will be confined to base. But I think the South Africans did not adhere to the confinement of forces to base. They wanted us to be confined only into Angola, so that they would claim that there were no Swapo forces inside Namibia or whatever. So this is what has transpired. These forces had no combat orders to fight, because we thought that the United Nations will come and confine them to certain areas where they were, because there were about 4 or 5, 6 groups which were in Namibia, so that we thought they would be. It's just by surprise that the South Africans engaged them, and then we have to tell them, you must defend yourselves.
Yes.
It's only that you have to defend yourselves, because the radios were in conduct and so forth, so that they have to defend themselves if the South Africans attack them. That was the only order, but, so but not for them to attack the South Africans.
So these groups were armed as they entered, entered Namibia?
They were well armed. They were very well armed.
So
in case they were attacked, as it happened, they have to defend themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, General, just stepping away a little bit from the 1st of April, I know that you have been on record so many times rejecting calls to sort of reward the former Kufut members. You have been on record saying it shouldn't be done. Why is that? Because I'm not thinking of what you have gone through, the wars and all these things. Yeah.
You know, awards are given to people who have achieved something which was being sought of. Yeah. If you were seeking for independence, and we were fighting for independence, and there were those who were fighting against independence, why should you award them? What are you awarding them for? Yeah. If they were against what we were all yearning to achieve, they were the blockades to achieve that independence. Are you awarding them for having delayed our independence, or what are you awarding them for?
Apparently it's reconciliation.
Reconciliation does not do away with what we were doing. No, reconciliation is just to forgive them, but not to forget. Yeah. We have forgiven them for the crimes they have committed, for they have also aligned with the enemy of the Namibian people. As a citizen, as a patriot of this country, and you go and join the foreign forces to fight your own people. And that one we can't do. Worldwide, people who have fought on the side of the enemy, when people became the victors, will not award those, because we are the victors. Many stories are being told by the South Africans, the South African Defense Force. Okay, we did not go to war to win battles. We went to war to win that war, not battles. If they won this battle, they won that battle, they won that battle, it means they have not won the war. Because they were saying there will be no Swapo flag in Namibia. There will be no independence under Swapo in Namibia. But today, we are here. We brought independence, and the red flag, which I call the red flag, was hosted here in Namibia. So they now concentrate only on battles and battles. Okay, in the Second World War, what can talk of the Germans having fought the Russians at Leningrad? There were 60 kilometers to go to Moscow. But what happened? From Moscow, they were driven back to Berlin, and the Nazi government, the Nazi regime collapsed. It means they were not victors. And those people could not be also awarded for having fought the Germans, or having fought the Americans, or the British, or the whatever. You see, so these are battles, but not wars. They have won the war during the Second World War. We have won the war during the liberation struggle.
Indeed.
So we are the victors. So they can't be awarded. Awarded for what? Awarded for what? They were defeated. Why should you award them?
Now, General, you hinted in your earlier remarks about. You specifically use the word, that there are people who want you to say some of these things in corners, that why didn't you say it before and whatnot. And this brings me to the 2018 incident, if I may call it that way, at the funeral of Mbulunganga, Matthias Ndakolo, where you said, you were speaking on behalf of the friends of Mbulunganga, and you said that you reminded government and the leadership to say, they must recognize better the war veterans, the combatants. And you came under fire from President Hage, from President Pohamba in particular. Do you stand by your words? What were you complaining about, as a matter of fact?
Well, Toivo, I'm a freedom fighter.
Yes.
I'm a fighter. I'm a survivor with other survivors also. Survivor of those comrades who have sacrificed. And to see also President Pohamba, I don't know, you know, sometimes when they are some people just come here when they see crowds and they talk and so forth. That's what he called me.
Yes.
That's what he said to me.
Yes.
But you see, when you have these comrades, the pioneer veterans,
Yes.
who were given honorary ranks,
Yes.
it's when I was a minister of defense. Then President Pohamba called me to organize 26 August.
Yeah.
And then I said, what is the significance of 26 August? Then he looked at me with wide eyes. He said,
Yeah.
don't you know what is 26 August?
Yeah.
I said, I know, but what is the significance? Is it the date, or is the people who made the 26 to happen?
Mm.
I made a reference to John Nangudu.
Yeah.
John Nangudu is just in that location.
Mm.
He's just there, a councillor. And what have we honored them for having made the 26? We celebrate only 26. Do we celebrate it with them? We celebrate them
Yes.
for having made it possible that 26 is being celebrated and all.
Yes.
He said, oh, this is what you are saying. I said, yes, we can. I said that the defense we can, because there are honorary ranks being given. At it is in the act of the Ministry of Defense, from colonel up to a major. We can do that. So, oh, yeah, then we can do it. That's my initiative. What did I not do?
Yeah.
When I spoke there, I spoke also of graves of former fighters.
Yes.
Unmarked graves.
Yes.
Still, when I was still at defense, we took a team, assigned it to all the regions, and compiled a catalogue of all the graves of the comrades who died. And that catalogue, you know, some of the graves, they are bushes which have grown on those. And I took it to him. He said, "Oh, this is." I took it to him, and I give it to him. If he did not leave it to Comrade Hager, that's not my problem. But I gave it.
Yeah.
I think in the office of the Veteran Affairs, late Nicky Yapo was there, and he is also, this catalogue I gave also him. So what else do you want? I'm talking of things which I have done.
Yes.
It's not out of the blue.
Yes.
I'm talking of things, and yet also still there are people, if you hear the voices, what has happened when I was shunned at that meeting, the voices of the fighters, people are angry. I said, why don't they want Namolu to tell the truth?
Yeah.
I was telling the truth. I was not attacking anyone. It became that I say, if I was attacking President Pohamba, I addressed Sam Nyoma, the former commander-in-chief of Plan. I said, your pioneer fighters are buried in unmarked graves here. What are you doing? What is being done? And also and so forth and so forth. But it became a personal issue, which wasn't.
Yeah.
That wasn't. I was really attacked, but I will still keep on talking about the combatants of the liberation struggle.
Indeed.
The war veterans. I will, because I'm part of them.
Yes, yes.
I will not divorce them. Nobody will tell me to divorce them. I have sacrificed my youth long time, and still I will sacrifice for them.
Yeah.
Because I fear nothing. Yeah, I fear nothing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, since then, your popularity also in the party has declined. You did not make it to parliament. And your ministerial career also perhaps ends there unless you come back later. But do you attribute what happened there?
Well,
To the Swapo Electoral College.
I think those well, in politics you climb, you decline, you what. Of course, recently I said politics is I served as a military. In the military, when you serve, when you have your comrades, you trust each other. You have confidence in each other because you can't betray each other.
Yes.
If you betray, you will not succeed in what you are doing. I went into diplomacy also. In diplomacy, of course, as a diplomat of a country, you try to outwit other diplomats in order for you to achieve what you want to put forward. If there is an issue about your country,
yes.
you will always forge to tell what it is and so forth. So that's different. But in politics, what I realized, politics is a game of betrayal. There nobody trusts you and you trust no one. Or if you trust somebody, you'll be betrayed at the end of the day. So that is a game of interests.
Yes.
And there is no confidence that you have somebody with you who can support you in whatever.
Yeah.
So if there are issues, and there can be influences also for you not to make it and so forth. You have been popular or what? Maybe you have done something which people don't like. So that be it. It's not me first to lose in the electoral college or not to become a minister. No, it's not. But for me, I'm happy.
So you are going out with your head held high. You are.
You know, Toivo, I dedicated my life for 50 years to this country, to the people, to fight. Before I went, you know, some people went abroad. They become genuine Swapo members when they were abroad.
Yeah.
I did not go. I was a Swapo member here because it is us who even established the Swapo Youth League after the Tanga Consultative Conference. It is us here with the Jerry Kanjos in Walvis Bay, Ndarika Mati, Kandi Neova, and many other comrades, Tumbo Ndaipa, when we went back to the north. And it is us also, the youth. You see the missing pages also. It is us, the youth, who have organized the strike in Namibia. But you will never hear being mentioned that the strike, general strike, which abolished the contract labor system here, was organized by these guys and so forth. Nobody mentions it. It's like a deliberate, but people, the history in Namibia, especially in Swapo, history is from the December 10, and then it goes to Ongulumbashe, and then from Ongulumbashe it jumps to Kwitu Kanavale, which Kwitu Kanavale also, we are the ones to tell about Kwitu Kanavale, and then to independence. All other major events which we have made are not mentioned. It's become a lost pages. Of course, I think we will ourselves now tell it, as I said, we should tell it publicly so that people know what we were doing, which we are being asked to tell under roofs and so forth, which doesn't make sense also.
Which brings me to my last question, Major General. What is next for Major General Namoloh? Are you going to rest? Are you going to farm? Are you going to look after your animals, or write books, or are you going to work your way back into politics?
I think my time, 50 years. I'm 70 now. My birthday was on the 28th February.
Yes.
I'm 70 years now, as I sit here. 70 years. So I have done. I think that long journey in this country, the long journey of dedicating your life, And everything I did it to the best of my ability.
Yes.
Possibly there could be other people who could do it better, but the assignment I was given, I did it to the best of my ability with all the comrades who were with me.
Yes.
So I think I've done better.
Yes.
Possibly I will rest. I have a place in Kavango, which I always U.S. journalists write, Namoloh grabbed land in Kavango.
Yes.
I have never grabbed the land in Kavango. Of course, you know, we are so disadvantaged.
Yes.
Okay, people were resettled, we were never resettled. The people were given whatever in fish quotas and what have you. We were never considered, we were never given. So we had to look where we can find survival for ourselves. So I went to Kavango. Actually, I did not go to look for a land. It is Homba, Chitendo. Chitendo. When I went there, I went with one of the commanders of Typhoon, the Typhoon I was sending to Kavango. I went to thank him because in my diaries I have his name, how he was supporting my soldiers when they were there. He gave them money. He gave them a radio to listen to what the enemy was saying, and I recorded it in my diary. I still have it. It will appear in my book, in my memoirs. I have it. So when I went there, I went just to thank him, and he asked me, "Do you have a farm?" I said, "No, Tatekulu, I don't have a farm." Why? I said, "No, I don't have a farm. I don't have money to buy a farm. I don't have any." But he said some people were resettled. I said I was not part of the resettlement. I applied, but I was not successful. So he said, "Okay, you have no land there. I will give you land." This is what he said. "I will give you land. You fought for this land, and you have no land. I have even given better land to some people who have not done anything for this country. But I will give you a land, a virgin land somewhere there where there are no people. Or maybe you are afraid to go into the forest." I said, "No, I lived my life in the forest." So he said, "Okay, I will give you land." And then he asked his subheadmen to go with me and show me. They measured and so forth. And this, I have a document which certifies that I was given this land for 99 years. So people are saying, so I'm going to look after my cattle, my children, but I will also write. I'm going to write. Because you see, as I said, history has got so many missing pages, especially on the issue of plan. Even if you go to our museums, the museum here, National Museum, if you go to the floor where plan is, there is nothing. The other thing is also that people don't ask us. Maybe they've forgotten that we were in charge. They don't come to me. But I give you an example. If you want to know how did the business of Mr. Pupukvet, Harold Pupukvet, started, will you go to a cleaner or you go to Mr. Harold Pupukvet? You go to Mr. Harold to answer that he will tell you all this. But in the case of plan, people go to very low people. They don't know what has happened, and you have never also. Even our national broadcaster, whether it's TV or radio, they have never taken an exclusive interview with us who were in charge. Whether it is General Awara, Komisar Lumumba, Malima, or Namoloh, or Shali, or many other comrades we can say, put them. They have not dedicated. Now, there's also what they are saying, there's a team writing history. They are writing history, but do they ask some of us? No.
I have to stop with the general, but thank you very much for the insightful information. We wish, we can't wait for your book, as a matter of fact, your memoirs.
Thank you.
But yes, so that was Major General Charles Namoloh speaking to us about the events of 1 April 1983 and 1989. I hope you enjoyed the interview like I did. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you, Toyo.